Alrighty, today I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of living in San Diego. I think it's pretty easy to guess the pros, and maybe you wouldn't think there are many cons, but let's talk about it. I work with a lot of clients who are relocating to San Diego for work, and it makes sense that they really want to know what San Diego life is really like. So I thought I'd share my insights. First off, San Diego is one of the most beautiful and one of the cleanest cities in the US, making it hard to imagine that living in San Diego would have many downsides. But I'll be the first to admit that there really are a handful of downsides, just a handful, and if I hadn't been born here, I may have rethought my decision to move here. To that end, I can confirm that life in San Diego is pretty spectacular most of the time. But is moving to San Diego right for you? I'd like to cover the honest pros and cons of living here in San Diego for anyone considering the move. This list is based solely on my personal experience, so please keep that in mind. And please, if you do have questions about living in our fair city, drop your comments below or feel free to text me. I am always happy to answer any questions and help. First, let's start with the good stuff. The pros of living in San Diego. Number one, of course, is the weather. The weather here is simply spectacular, with average temperatures hovering around 70 degrees year-round. It's not hard to see why San Diego is considered to be America's finest city. One of my favorite things about living here in San Diego is that planning around the weather is seldom a consideration because 95% of the time it's going to be beautiful outside. Now, with that said, I've never lived outside of California, so I can't really speak on what it's like to have to check the weather every time you want to have a backyard barbecue. One thing I do have to say, and it will probably be annoying, is that I welcome the rain when we do have it, because having basically sunshine all the time can actually get boring, and it's nice to mix it up once in a while. We don't have 4 seasons. We do have the changing of the trees a little bit, but certainly not as beautiful as it is back east. So if you're thinking of moving to San Diego to escape dreary temperatures, our city will not disappoint. Number 2, there are a plethora of outdoor activities. There's never a shortage of recreational opportunities to choose from, as well as concerts, our San Diego Symphony, the art scene here, Balboa Park, which is the largest cultural urban park in the country, boasts 15 museums, botanical gardens, and we have the world famous San Diego Zoo. It's easy to spend lazy weekends just wandering around the park. You'll never have a reason to be bored while living in San Diego because it's an outdoor enthusiast's dream. For starters, you're a mere stone's throw away from the beach, and you have access to world-class beaches and surfing. I've never been good at surfing, but you'd be surprised how many people start their day surfing before showing up to the office. I mean, how many other cities give you the opportunity to surf before starting the workday? If you're not into surfing, no worries. There's plenty of other activities to choose from, like biking, hiking, fishing, snorkeling and scuba diving, and so much more. The number 3 pro, access to the beach. I just touched on this lightly, but it warrants more mention. A huge advantage of living in San Diego is that you're always within a reasonable drive to the beach. Like most people, I'm all for sunshine and vitamin D. If you're looking for great beaches in San Diego, my favorites are North County beaches, Del Mar, Encinitas, Cardiff, and Carlsbad, as well as La Jolla, Coronado Beach, and Pacific Beach. But really, you can't go wrong with any San Diego beaches. Number 4, great food options. With more than 7,000 restaurants within city limits, San Diego is guaranteed to please foodies looking to call this city home. We simply have an amazing food scene here. San Diego's food scene is more diverse than most people realize, and we have ramen, sushi, pho, pretty much everything. But make no mistake about it, Mexican food takes the cake here. The number 5 pro, San Diego's craft brew scene. San Diego is home to more than 150 local breweries. Suffice it to say that beer culture is a huge perk of living in San Diego. Our brewery scene is so good, in fact, that a handful of San Diego's breweries rank as the best in the world. AleSmith Brewing Company was ranked the 6th best brewery in the world in 2019. And fun fact, San Diego is often credited as having one of the strongest craft brew scenes in the country, earning the moniker of America's craft beer capital. Now, personally, I'm not a craft beer girl. I am a good old Bud Light kind of girl, but if craft brew is your thing, San Diego will not disappoint. Living in San Diego has a laid-back vibe, and it's one of my favorite things about living here, the easygoing, laid-back culture of the locals. I guess living near a beach does that to you. Miles of stunning shoreline, great breweries, constant sunshine, what's not to like? The relaxed vibe is inherent to beach towns, and it imbues the entire city with a slower pace, which varies drastically from our larger northern sister, LA. So if you're looking to slow down, relax, and enjoy life without constant chaos, quick pace, and traffic, moving to San Diego might be just what the doctor ordered. Number 7, this is a great city for millennials. The median age in San Diego is 34.9 years, so you can bet there are plenty of millennials that call the city home. Thanks to great outdoor recreation, ample sunshine, beach access, it's no surprise that so many millennials have decided to move here to San Diego. Small businesses cater to a plethora of millennial hobbies and interests. It's not hard to find quaint cafes, great breweries, charming restaurants, and dreamy plant shops throughout the city. Now, the cons of moving to San Diego, I think everyone knows this, and with all the pros I mentioned, is it any wonder that housing here is very expensive? San Diego consistently ranks as one of the top 10 most expensive cities in the country, so you can bet that living in San Diego won't come cheap. The average monthly rent for a one-bedroom apartment clocks in at a steep $2,400, and the median home price is currently at $785,000, rising annually, and it varies greatly by location. Living in San Diego isn't even in the same time zone as affordable, and the high cost of housing is the biggest part of that. Number 2, we do have a homeless problem here in San Diego. Time and again, we make the list of having one of the highest homeless populations in the country. You can't walk the city streets really without seeing the detrimental effects of homelessness around you. And I'll be the first to admit, I don't know what the fix is. I don't know the right solution, but I want to be transparent about that for anyone thinking of moving here. You're going to see a lot more of that in the downtown areas than you will in North County, but it is there. Number 3, California has the highest state income taxes in the country, up to 13.3%, and it's no secret that California taxes are very, very high, the highest in the nation, among the highest in the nation. The high tax rate should be taken into strong consideration while considering if moving to San Diego is right for you, because it will greatly reduce your take-home pay, which will affect, of course, what you can afford to pay for housing. Pros and cons of living in San Diego. To sum it up, these are my honest pros and cons that I see, and there are many, many others. But the weather, the beaches, plethora of outdoor activities, the art and culture scene, the food scene, the fact that it's a millennial city, our beer scene, the diversity here, our laid-back vibe, really great school system, also the high cost of living, homelessness, and our taxes in California. And there you have it. I hope you found this list of the pros and cons of living in San Diego helpful. Please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions you may have. I am always happy to help.